So I would love to actually put on both of your hats for a moment, the financier, the investment banker, and then also the biohacker longevity guy,
Yeah.
right? So if we start getting into the age of, sort of the 50 plus brackets, can you make asymmetrical moves in order to gain more of that wealth/health back? What would be your thoughts there?
Absolutely. I was in the car with my boss who's down from Singapore, and we were discussing, he's 52, and we were just discussing that. And there are a lot of things you can do, but let's look at the three basic things that you can do. Everything is food, but we all get mixed up, right? Because there is a science of food and there is an emotion of food, and emotion always wins, right? And rightly so, right? Not just in India, all over the world, food is celebrated. Food was always in evolutionary sense seen as celebration. Celebration was when you indulged, but now we've moved to the world of food abundance, where I don't even say that obesity is an epidemic. No, for me, food is an epidemic. The quality of the food and the quantity of the food. So I think the first thing all of us can do is eat less often. So for example, I am on 2 meals a day. I eat my lunch at 2 and I eat my dinner between 7 and 8. I have a 18-hour fasting video. From a longevity standpoint, we have longevity genes, which Dr. David Sinclair came up with, the sirtuins, and it has two more cousins, the AMPKs and the mTORs. All these three pathways are called the longevity pathways. Sirtuins being the most important. When you put your body through 18 hours of fasting, you are creating adversity. You are telling your body you will not get food for 18 hours. And the body then turns on its survival mode. And its survival mode is to increase the production of SIR2 genes. Sirtuins, AMPK, mTOR, as these three survival pathways get activated because of 18 hours of fasting, essentially you are getting younger, because the body is now setting up mechanism to survive, which is the strongest evolutionary mechanism. So that's the first thing that you can do. Remove snacking, remove midnight snacking. Please omit breakfast. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. Sorry, science doesn't support that. But how you break your fast, I break my fast with lunch, is important, right? Remove sugar. Sugar is poison. Stuff like that. So that's first thing everybody can do, irrespective of 20, 30, 40, 50. Because in 20s also this is as relevant, because when I reflect back on my age, the mistakes that I made in my 20s compounded and made me, I was 92 kgs, Amina, before this. I last week did a post on LinkedIn showing my before after picture. So that's first thing you can do. Second is exercise. The highest ROI from a longevity standpoint is exercise. Not people realize, but your muscle is your biggest weapon when it comes to fight aging. When you eat more glucose, more sugar, that caramelized glucose that floats in the blood ultimately will get absorbed by the muscle. And you have more glucose in your muscle is getting weaker. How do I make the muscle more? How do I use the glycogen that is stored? Through exercise. So the highest ROI is exercise. Third thing, which I learned from FRC, which works brilliantly well, is sleep, 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 and sleep.
Say it one more time for our audience.
Sleep. 8 hours, but not the quantum of sleep, my friends. Quality of sleep. What's your REM sleep? I wear a Whoop. I measure my sleep every single day. I spoke to you about my pre-COVID times. My resting heart rate was 62 or 63. My resting heart rate today is 50. Usain Bolt is at 45.
It's funny. I think they've actually lowered the sort of the resting heart rate average when you do body health checks, because the mean average of populations had gotten so out of whack. Yeah.
And then when you get into deeper quality of sleep, then dark room, cold, no device for an hour. Once you decide I want 8 hours of quality sleep, it's not going to happen overnight. You will have to do something. You will have to take your sauna. You will have to take your cold shower. I do that 6 days a week. Cold room. It's okay to be bored for half an hour in a day. Just lie down, sleep will come. But that sleep that comes is so important, right? I think the biggest contribution FRC made to me was not just making me productive, but making me realize that sleep is the most important. And I think somewhere, I think Rian mentioned in the lecture that sleep is a flow state. For me, it was poetry.
If what you've heard on Flow Research Collective Radio has been helpful, please consider doing us a solid and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Reviews help us connect to a wider audience so we can get these peak performance principles out to more people.